Have you ever felt tired for no clear reason? A little swollen by the end of the day? Maybe waking up once or twice at night to use the bathroom and told yourself, it's just stress. It's just getting older. What if I told you those quiet changes could be early signs that your kidneys are under pressure right now? And most people don't realize there's a problem until more than half of their kidney function is already gone. Here's the uncomfortable truth in the United States. Millions of adults are walking around with declining kidney function and have no idea. Your kidneys don't scream when they're in trouble. They don't cause sharp pain like a heart attack. They fail slowly, silently, year after year, while everyday habits, including the drinks you consume without thinking, may be accelerating the damage. And by the time lab numbers like creatinine finally rise high enough to trigger concern, the opportunity for simple prevention is often behind you. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and today I want to show you something different. Not an extreme cleanse, not a trendy detox kit, and not a miracle promise, but 3 simple drinks that when used the right way can reduce inflammation, support healthy blood flow, and help your kidneys do what they were designed to do: filter, protect, and keep you alive. Because the goal isn't to flush toxins overnight, it's to strengthen the system before the damage becomes permanent. And what you choose to drink tomorrow morning may matter more than you think. Let's start with something almost every American already drinks every single day: black coffee. Not a green juice, not a $12 detox smoothie, just plain, simple black coffee. And here's the twist most people never hear when used correctly. Black coffee may actually protect your kidneys instead of harming them. That sounds almost controversial, doesn't it? Because for years, people have blamed coffee for dehydration, for stress, for overworking the body. But the real story is far more interesting and far more powerful. A few months ago, one of my patients, 52 years old corporate executive, long hours, high stress, came into my office worried about his lab results. His creatinine had crept up over 2 years, not dramatically, just enough to make him uneasy. He told me, "Dr. Ellis, I quit coffee because I thought it was hurting my kidneys." But what shocked him was this: his coffee wasn't the problem. His sugary energy drinks were. Once we stripped away the syrups, the creamers, the hidden sugars, and went back to 1 or 2 cups of plain black coffee a day, his inflammatory markers improved, his blood pressure stabilized, and over the next 12 months, his kidney numbers stopped climbing. Here's why that matters. Black coffee is rich in antioxidants, particularly polyphenols, compounds that help neutralize oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is one of the silent drivers of kidney damage in America today. High blood sugar, high blood pressure, processed food, chronic stress, they all increase free radical damage inside your blood vessels. And your kidneys are packed with tiny, delicate blood vessels that filter your blood 24/7. When those vessels stiffen or inflame, filtration slows, waste builds up, damage compounds quietly. Several large observational studies in the U.S. have shown that moderate coffee consumption, around 1 to 3 cups per day, is associated with a lower risk of developing chronic kidney disease and slower progression in people at risk. The proposed mechanism: reduced inflammation, improved endothelial function, and better vascular flexibility. In simple terms, healthier blood flow to the kidneys. And better blood flow means better filtration. Better filtration means less long-term strain. But here's where most people get it wrong, and this is crucial. The benefit is not from caramel macchiatos, not from whipped cream lattes, not from high-phosphate creamers loaded with sugar. Those drinks spike insulin, raise triglycerides, increase inflammation, and force your kidneys to constantly rebalance your blood chemistry. That's not kidney support. That's kidney stress in disguise. So how do you use black coffee strategically? Keep it simple. Brew it fresh. Drink a full glass of water first thing in the morning before your coffee, because hydration always comes first. Have your coffee after breakfast, not on an empty stomach, to avoid excessive cortisol spikes. Keep it to 1 to 3 cups. And if caffeine makes you jittery, choose decaf. It still contains protective antioxidants. This isn't about stimulation. It's about cellular protection. Now let me ask you something directly. How many of you are adding flavored syrups or sweetened creamers without thinking twice? Be honest. Drop a comment below if you've ever told yourself it's just one splash. Because sometimes that one splash is the difference between an anti-inflammatory habit and a metabolic disaster. And awareness is the first step to protection. Black coffee, when used wisely, can reduce inflammatory stress, support vascular health, and help stabilize the metabolic drivers that slowly injure kidney tissue. But here's what most people don't realize. Inflammation is only one side of the equation. You can protect the cells and still lose kidney function if pressure inside those tiny filtering units keeps rising silently. And that brings us to a factor even more dangerous than inflammation one, that damages kidneys faster than almost anything else. And most Americans are living with it every single day without knowing it. Now here's the part most people underestimate: pressure. You can reduce inflammation, you can improve circulation, you can even clean up your diet. But if the pressure inside your blood vessels stays high, your kidneys are still under attack every single day. And that's where hibiscus tea becomes far more than just a colorful herbal drink. It becomes a strategic tool. High blood pressure is one of the leading causes of kidney failure in the United States. Not because it hurts, not because it feels dramatic, but because it quietly scars the tiny filtering units inside your kidneys, the glomeruli, over years. Imagine blasting a garden hose at full force through a delicate coffee filter. Eventually that filter weakens, it stiffens, it tears. That's what uncontrolled hypertension does to your kidneys. I remember a patient named Linda, early 60s, retired school teacher. She told me, "Dr. Ellis, I feel fine. I just don't understand why my kidney numbers are slipping." Her blood pressure hovered around 145/90, not emergency level, just slightly elevated. But over time, that constant internal pressure was enough to stress her kidneys. We adjusted her diet, her activity level, and yes, we added something simple, unsweetened hibiscus tea in the afternoons instead of soda. Within months, her systolic pressure dropped by nearly 10 points. That change alone significantly reduced the mechanical stress on her kidneys. Here's the science behind it. Hibiscus tea is rich in anthocyanins and polyphenols, plant compounds known for their antioxidant and vasodilatory effects. Clinical studies have shown that regular consumption of hibiscus tea can reduce both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, sometimes comparable to first-line lifestyle interventions. Lower pressure means less strain on those microscopic filtering units. Less strain means slower progression of kidney damage. And here's what makes it powerful for 2024 and beyond. It's caffeine-free, virtually zero sodium, zero phosphorus, and zero sugar unless you add it. That's critical, because many healthy beverages today are quietly loaded with hidden sugars that spike insulin, raise triglycerides, and indirectly worsen kidney stress. Hibiscus tea, when kept clean and unsweetened, supports vascular health without creating a metabolic backlash. If you're watching this and thinking, "My blood pressure runs a little high, but it's not that bad," let me challenge you. Have you checked it consistently? Do you know your average over the past 30 days? Drop a comment below if you monitor your blood pressure at home, because awareness changes outcomes. And if you're on medication, talk to your doctor before adding large amounts of hibiscus daily, because it can amplify the effect. This is about strategy, not guesswork. Use it intentionally. 1 cup in the late afternoon. Replace soda. Replace sweet tea. Replace that second energy drink. Pair it with hydration and movement. Think of it as reducing the internal hydraulic stress on your kidneys, because pressure, not just inflammation, determines long-term survival of kidney tissue. But here's the deeper truth. Even if you reduce inflammation, and even if you lower blood pressure, there's another silent factor that most people ignore entirely. You can have perfect antioxidants. You can have controlled pressure. And still, if your body is chronically underhydrated, your kidneys are operating in survival mode. And that may be the most overlooked risk factor of all. And that brings us to the most underestimated factor of all: hydration. Not extreme detox, not gallon challenges, just consistent, intelligent hydration. Because your kidneys are filtration organs, and filtration depends on flow. When you're even mildly dehydrated, blood flow to the kidneys decreases. Filtration slows down. Waste products linger longer in the bloodstream. Over time, that chronic low-grade dehydration increases the risk of kidney stones, thickens the blood slightly, and forces your kidneys to work harder to maintain balance. And here's the scary part. Most Americans walk around mildly dehydrated every single day and call it normal. This is where the cucumber smoothie enters the conversation, not as a trendy health hack, but as a strategic hydration tool. Cucumbers are about 95% water. That alone makes them one of the most hydrating whole foods you can consume. But hydration isn't just about water content, it's about how easily your body absorbs and uses that fluid. When blended with water, a squeeze of lemon and a few mint leaves cucumber creates a light, low-sugar, kidney-friendly drink that supports fluid balance without spiking insulin or overwhelming potassium levels. I had a patient in his late 40s, construction worker, physically active, but constantly drinking sweetened sports beverages because he thought they were hydrating. His lab showed early signs of kidney strain. When we replaced those drinks with water and a simple cucumber-based smoothie mid-morning, his uric acid levels improved, his energy stabilized, and his afternoon fatigue dropped noticeably. Sometimes it isn't about adding something powerful, it's about removing what's silently harmful. Research consistently shows that adequate hydration supports kidney filtration rate and reduces the risk of stone formation. And unlike high fructose juices or banana-heavy smoothies that can spike blood sugar or overload potassium in susceptible individuals, cucumber-based drinks are lighter, cleaner, and metabolically gentler. That's the key for long-term kidney resilience. Now let me ask you directly, how much plain water did you drink yesterday? Not coffee, not soda, not juice. Real hydration. Be honest with yourself. Because kidneys don't fail overnight, they decline through years of small repeated strain. And dehydration is one of the most overlooked strains of all. Used together, these three drinks create a simple but powerful daily framework: black coffee in moderation for antioxidant protection, hibiscus tea for blood pressure support, and a cucumber smoothie for hydration and flow. This is not about shocking your system with extreme detox claims. It's about strengthening the filtration system day after day. But here's the final truth: knowing the drinks is one thing. Consistency is everything. And what you choose tomorrow morning could determine whether your kidneys remain resilient or slowly move toward the point where medical intervention becomes inevitable. Before we close today, I want you to take a deep breath and remember something important. Kidney health is not about fear, and it's not about perfection. It's about small, consistent choices that protect you years before a crisis ever appears. Your kidneys are working for you 24 hours a day, filtering your blood, balancing your fluids, regulating your pressure even while you sleep. They don't complain. They don't demand attention. But they do depend on you. And the simple truth is this: replacing one sugary drink, adding one protective habit, choosing hydration over convenience, those small decisions compound over time into real protection. If this video helped you see your daily routine differently, I encourage you to save it so you can come back to it later and share it with someone you care about. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I post evidence-based, practical medical guidance designed to help you protect your kidneys before serious damage begins. My goal is not to scare you, it's to equip you. Knowledge, when applied consistently, is one of the most powerful forms of prevention. And here's the hopeful part: kidney decline is often slow, which means you still have time. Time to reduce inflammation, time to control blood pressure, time to improve hydration, time to change direction. The body has an incredible ability to stabilize when given the right support. Start with one better choice tomorrow morning, then repeat it. Your kidneys are incredibly resilient when you work with them instead of against them, and the steps you take today can protect your health for decades to come.